It's a story that sounds almost too incredible to believe. A 132-year-old ship buried deep beneath a quiet cornfield in the American Midwest. Imagine the scene: archaeologists and local farmers standing shoulder to shoulder, peering down into a massive excavation site where a historic vessel slowly emerges from the earth. This isn't the coastline, nor is it the site of an ancient harbor. It's a field where corn sways in the breeze, miles from any modern-day shoreline. The sheer improbability of this discovery makes it one of the most fascinating archaeological finds of the century. The moment the buried ship was unearthed, it sent shockwaves through the historical and archaeological communities. How could a large vessel, built over a century ago, end up so far from the nearest body of water? The story has captivated the imaginations of people worldwide, raising questions about history, nature, and the secrets hidden beneath our feet. It's not just a tale of a lost ship. It's a puzzle waiting to be solved, one that challenges conventional ideas about maritime history. An unlikely location for a shipwreck. Ships are meant to float on water, navigating rivers, lakes, and oceans, not resting beneath fertile farmland. The discovery of this ship beneath a cornfield defies logic at first glance. For centuries, we've associated shipwrecks with oceans and lakes, envisioning them lying at the bottom of watery graves, not buried under layers of soil. Yet here it is, a fully intact vessel, resting quietly under what seems like an unlikely final resting place. This peculiar setting prompts a cascade of questions. Did the ship's burial result from a dramatic environmental event, such as a flood that altered the surrounding geography? Was it intentionally abandoned, its presence later obscured by time and sediment? These questions add a layer of intrigue, making the discovery a compelling mystery that has drawn the attention of experts and enthusiasts alike. Why this discovery matters for historians, archaeologists, and anyone with a passion for uncovering the past, this ship is more than just an artifact. It's a window into a forgotten era. Its discovery provides tangible evidence of a time when waterways were lifelines for transportation, trade, and exploration. The ship is a piece of a larger puzzle, offering insights into the economic and cultural activities of the 19th century. The sheer age of the vessel, 132 years, immediately places it in a significant historical context. This was a time when steam engines revolutionized transportation, industrialization was reshaping societies, and waterways played a pivotal role in connecting communities. Uncovering the ship beneath a cornfield presents an opportunity to study these dynamics in an entirely new way, shifting our understanding of how human activity and natural forces interacted. A ripple effect across fields of study. The significance of this buried ship extends beyond its immediate historical value. It challenges geologists to rethink the processes that could lead to such a phenomenon, compelling them to study how landscapes evolve over centuries. Meanwhile, archaeologists have a rare opportunity to examine a remarkably preserved relic, piecing together its origins, purpose, and eventual fate. Moreover, this discovery sparks conversations among maritime historians. It forces them to consider how shipping routes, trade patterns, and human migrations might have intersected in ways that are not immediately apparent. It invites fresh debates and theories, some of which might completely rewrite chapters of our shared history. The power of the unexpected. What makes this story so captivating is its unexpected nature. No one set out to find a ship buried beneath a cornfield. It was a surprise, an accident of discovery that reminds us of how much we still don't know about our world. It's a humbling reminder that history is not always where we expect to find it. Sometimes, it lies hidden in the most ordinary places, waiting for a chance encounter or a curious observer to bring it back into the light. The buried ship is a testament to the power of human curiosity and the enduring allure of the unknown. It's the kind of story that ignites imaginations and fuels dreams of exploration, even in an era where we think we've mapped and measured everything. As we delve deeper into this remarkable find, one thing becomes clear. History is full of surprises, and every discovery has the potential to change the way we see the past. This ship, silent for over a century, has finally found its voice. And it's telling a story that's as remarkable as the journey that brought it here, to a resting place no one could have predicted. The ship's origin and the story of the 132-year-old ship buried beneath a cornfield begins long before its unexpected discovery. To truly appreciate the significance of this find, we must first understand the origins of the vessel itself. Built in the late 19th century, this ship was a product of an era defined by industrial innovation and rapid expansion. It was constructed during a time when the American Midwest was bustling with activity, with rivers and canals acting as vital arteries for commerce and transportation. The ship, believed to have been a flat-bottomed riverboat, was specifically designed to navigate shallow waters. These vessels were instrumental in transporting goods like timber, grain, and coal, playing a crucial role in supporting the economic growth of the region. While larger ships dominated the open waters of the Great Lakes and coastal areas, smaller, nimble vessels like this one were indispensable for navigating the intricate network of rivers and streams that crisscross the Midwest. Records suggest that the ship was constructed in the 1890s, possibly at a shipyard near the Mississippi or Missouri rivers. Its wooden frame, reinforced with iron fittings, represented the standard design of riverboats of the time. These ships were not just utilitarian, they were also symbols of progress, enabling farmers, merchants, and industrialists to connect with markets far beyond their local communities. A vessel with a purpose. During its operational years, the ship likely carried cargo along a specific route, servicing towns and trading hubs scattered across the Midwest. Riverboats like this one often operated on tight schedules, transporting goods quickly and efficiently. Their design allowed them to carry significant loads while maintaining a shallow draft, making it possible to traverse even the most challenging waterways. Beyond its economic function, the ship also played a role in fostering connections between communities. It served as a lifeline, bringing supplies, news, and even passengers to towns that depended on river transportation. In an era before highways and railroads dominated the landscape, riverboats were an essential part of daily life, bridging the gap between isolation and opportunity. Timeline of the ship's life. from its launch in the 1890s to its eventual disappearance, the ship's timeline is marked by moments of significance that reflect the broader history of the region. The early years of the ship's operation were likely its most prosperous. Historical records from the time indicate that river traffic in the Midwest was at its peak, with hundreds of vessels navigating the waterways. The ship's role in this bustling network would have made it a familiar sight to the communities it served. As the years passed, however, changes in technology and infrastructure began to reshape the landscape of transportation. The expansion of the railroad system, combined with the advent of motorized vehicles, gradually diminished the importance of river traffic. By the early 20th century, many riverboats were being decommissioned, abandoned, or repurposed. It is possible that the ship's fate was sealed during this transitional period, as its usefulness waned in the face of modern innovations. The mystery unfolds. How did this once bustling vessel end up buried beneath a cornfield, far from the waterways it once traversed? This question has puzzled historians and archaeologists since the ship's discovery, giving rise to a variety of theories. One plausible explanation is tied to the natural processes of the region. The Midwest has long been prone to flooding, with rivers frequently overflowing their banks and altering the surrounding landscape. It is conceivable that the ship was abandoned during one such flood, left behind as the waters receded and sediment gradually buried it over time. Another theory suggests that the ship was deliberately abandoned and buried as part of a land reclamation effort. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, many areas of the Midwest were undergoing significant agricultural development. It is possible that the ship, no longer in use, was intentionally disposed of to make way for farmland. Over the decades, its presence was forgotten, its story lost to history until its recent rediscovery. Clues from the past. The ship itself offers tantalizing clues about its journey and eventual burial. Archaeologists have noted the remarkable preservation of its wooden frame, which suggests that it was quickly covered by sediment after being abandoned. This rapid burial likely protected the ship from decay, preserving it in a state that allows researchers to study it in detail. Artifacts recovered from the site, including tools, personal items, and fragments of cargo, provide additional insights into the ship's history. These objects tell a story of daily life on board, offering a glimpse into the experiences of the people who lived and worked on the vessel. A story lost and found. The burial of the ship beneath a cornfield is a stark reminder of how quickly history can be forgotten. For over a century, the vessel lay hidden, its existence unknown to the farmers who planted their crops above it. Yet its rediscovery has brought its story back to life, rekindling interest in a time when rivers were the highways of the Midwest. This ship, silent for decades, now speaks volumes about the resilience of the past and the enduring power of discovery. Its journey from bustling riverboat to buried relic is a testament to the ever-changing nature of history, where the ordinary and extraordinary often intersect in the most unexpected ways. As we continue to uncover its secrets, the ship reminds us that every artifact has a story to tell, waiting to be revealed by those who are willing to listen. The excavation process, its initial discovery, the story of how the 132-year-old ship was discovered beneath a quiet Midwestern cornfield is as fascinating as the ship itself. It was a discovery that came about not through an extensive archaeological expedition but rather by chance, a testament to how history often reveals itself when we least expect it. In 2018, a farmer working his land stumbled upon something unusual while preparing the soil for planting. His equipment struck something solid beneath the surface, halting his progress. At first, he thought it might be a large rock or even a tree stump, but further investigation revealed fragments of wood that seemed strangely out of place. The wood was aged but well preserved, and as he dug deeper, he found rusted metal fittings and unusual shapes that didn't belong in a cornfield. Curiosity got the better of him, and he contacted local authorities. What began as a farmer's puzzling find quickly turned into a major archaeological investigation. Experts were brought in, and it wasn't long before they realized the magnitude of the discovery. Beneath layers of soil and sediment lay the remains of a historic ship, silent for over a century, waiting to be uncovered. The discovery, though accidental, was groundbreaking. It sparked an immediate buzz in the local community and among historians and archaeologists nationwide. The idea of a ship buried so far from any waterway was baffling, but it also offered a rare opportunity to study a piece of history that had been untouched for decades. Digging into history, excavating a buried ship is no small task. Once experts confirmed the discovery, they began the delicate process of unearthing the vessel. This was a painstaking operation requiring precision, patience, and collaboration among various disciplines, from archaeologists to geologists and historians. The first step was to carefully map the site. Using ground-penetrating radar, a team of geophysicists scanned the area to determine the exact dimensions of the ship and its position beneath the surface. This technology allowed them to create a 3D model of the site, identifying key areas that required careful attention during the excavation. Next came the actual digging. This was not a matter of simply using heavy machinery to remove the soil. Given the ship's age and the fragility of its materials, archaeologists had to work with extreme care to avoid causing damage. Small, specialized tools, trowels, brushes, and even dental picks were used to carefully remove layers of dirt, revealing the ship piece by piece. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with the ship's size. Flat-bottomed riverboats were built to carry heavy loads, and even in its buried state, the ship's dimensions presented logistical difficulties. As the excavation progressed, it became clear that some parts of the ship were better preserved than others. The wooden frame, protected by layers of sediment, had survived remarkably well, but other elements, such as iron fittings and fasteners, had deteriorated over time. Weather conditions also played a role in complicating the excavation. Sudden rainstorms could flood the site, while periods of intense heat made working conditions difficult for the team. Despite these challenges, the archaeologists persevered, driven by the significance of their work. Unveiling hidden treasures because as the excavation unfolded, it became clear that the ship was more than just an empty vessel. Hidden within its remains were a variety of artifacts that offered glimpses into its past and the lives of the people who once depended on it. One of the most remarkable finds was a collection of tools likely used for maintenance and repairs. These included hammers, saws, and chisels, all carefully crafted and well worn from use. The discovery suggested that the ship was not just a means of transportation but also a mobile workshop, capable of sustaining itself during long journeys. Fragments of cargo were also uncovered, including wooden crates and barrels. Although the contents had long since deteriorated, these containers hinted at the type of goods the ship once carried. Based on historical records, archaeologists speculated that the ship was involved in transporting essential commodities such as grain, timber, and coal, staples of the 19th century Midwestern economy. Personal items found aboard the ship added a human element to the story. A pair of leather boots, a broken pocket watch, and fragments of pottery were among the objects recovered. These items, though small, painted a vivid picture of the people who worked and traveled on the ship. They were reminders of a time when life revolved around the waterways, and each journey was an adventure fraught with challenges and opportunities. Perhaps the most intriguing discovery was a series of handwritten documents, preserved in a tightly sealed container. Although damaged by time, these papers offered tantalizing clues about the ship's history. Researchers were able to decipher portions of the text, which included shipping manifests, crew logs, and even personal letters. These documents provided invaluable context, shedding light on the ship's purpose, its routes, and the people who depended on it. Preserving the past. Excavating the ship was only the first step in a much larger process. Once the artifacts were recovered, they had to be carefully preserved and studied. Wooden beams were treated with special chemicals to prevent further decay, while metal fittings were cleaned and stabilized. Each item was catalogued and analyzed, adding to the growing body of knowledge about the ship and its era. The excavation also highlighted the importance of community involvement in preserving history. Local residents, initially drawn to the site out of curiosity, became enthusiastic supporters of the project. Schools organized field trips to the excavation site, giving students a chance to witness history being unearthed. Community volunteers helped with everything from logistics to fundraising, ensuring that the project could continue despite its challenges. The bigger picture. As the ship emerged from its earthen tomb, it became clear that this was not just a local story but a discovery with far-reaching implications. The excavation provided new insights into the history of river transportation, the economic development of the Midwest, and the lives of the people who shaped the region. It also raised questions about the long-term preservation of such discoveries. The ship, though remarkably well preserved, was still vulnerable to decay. Ensuring that it could be studied and appreciated by future generations required careful planning, from constructing a protective enclosure at the site to creating detailed digital records of the vessel and its artifacts. In many ways, the excavation of this 132-year-old ship was a race against time, a testament to the dedication and ingenuity of the people who worked to uncover its secrets. Their efforts not only brought a forgotten piece of history back into the light, but also reminded us of the enduring power of discovery to connect us with our past. A story resurfaces by the time the excavation was complete. The ship had become more than just an artifact. It was a symbol of resilience and curiosity. Its journey from a bustling riverboat to a buried relic and finally to a celebrated historical find is a story that resonates across generations. The process of unearthing the ship was as much about the people involved as it was about the vessel itself. It brought together farmers, archaeologists, historians, and community members, all united by a shared desire to uncover the truth. In doing so, it reminded us that history is not a static record of the past but a living narrative, constantly shaped by new discoveries and perspectives. As the final layer of soil was removed and the ship was fully revealed, it stood as a testament to the power of the past to inspire and educate. It was a reminder that even in the most unlikely places, history lies waiting to be found, and that the stories it tells are worth every effort to uncover. Maritime history in unexpected places. The discovery of the 132-year-old ship beneath the Cornfield may seem extraordinary, but it is not the only instance of a vessel being found in an unlikely location. Around the world, hidden shipwrecks have surfaced in deserts, mountains, and even under bustling urban centers, each with its own fascinating story to tell. These discoveries serve as a reminder that maritime history often holds unexpected surprises. One of the most famous examples is the Punic warship unearthed in the Tunisian desert. This ancient ship, dating back to the 3rd century BCE, was found over 30 miles inland from the nearest modern coastline. Its discovery provided invaluable insights into Carthaginian naval architecture and warfare, while also posing intriguing questions about how it ended up buried in a desert. Archaeologists theorize that shifting coastlines and desertification may have been responsible, transforming a once thriving harbor into an arid wasteland. Another astonishing find occurred in 2018, when a perfectly preserved Viking ship was detected beneath a Norwegian farm field using ground-penetrating radar. The ship, believed to be a burial vessel for a prominent Norse leader, was uncovered hundreds of years after it was deliberately buried in a ceremony honoring the deceased. This discovery not only shed light on Viking burial practices but also highlighted how cultural traditions could lead to unexpected maritime finds far from any waterway. Perhaps one of the most peculiar cases is the SS Palo Alto, a concrete ship built during World War I, which now sits abandoned in a sandy area along the California coast. Though its location near water is not unusual, the ship's construction material and intended purpose make it a strange and significant discovery. Originally designed as an oil tanker, the vessel was repurposed as an amusement park before it was ultimately left to deteriorate in shallow waters. Its history highlights the shifting economic and cultural priorities of the 20th century. Explaining the phenomenon and how do ships end up in places where they seemingly don't belong? The answer often lies in the complex interplay of geographical, geological, and historical factors. One of the most common explanations is the phenomenon of shifting coastlines. Over centuries, rivers can change course, deltas can expand, and sea levels can rise or fall, leaving ships stranded far from their original locations. The buried ship in the Midwestern Cornfield, for example, could have been abandoned near a waterway that no longer exists due to sedimentation and human intervention. In some cases, catastrophic events play a role. Massive floods, hurricanes, and tsunamis have been known to transport ships far from their moorings, depositing them in locations that defy logic. For instance, the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004 swept large vessels miles inland, some of which remain stranded to this day as grim reminders of the disaster. Human activity is another significant factor. Ships have historically been repurposed or intentionally buried for various reasons. During times of war, vessels might be scuttled to prevent enemy capture. In peacetime, old or obsolete ships have been sunk to create artificial reefs or buried as part of land reclamation projects. The Viking burial ship in Norway is a prime example of how cultural practices can lead to maritime artifacts being found far from their original environments. Geological processes also play a critical role in preserving these vessels. In areas where sediment accumulates rapidly, ships can be buried and protected from decay for centuries. The Mississippi River, for example, has a long history of shifting sediment layers that have likely hidden countless vessels waiting to be discovered. Impact on history. Each discovery of a hidden shipwreck has the potential to reshape our understanding of maritime trade, exploration, and migration. These vessels are not just artifacts. They are time capsules, preserving the stories of the people who built, sailed, and depended on them. The discovery of the 132-year-old ship in the Cornfield, for instance, has reignited interest in the role of river transportation in shaping the economy and culture of the American Midwest. It offers a rare glimpse into a time when waterways were vital for commerce and communication, connecting isolated communities and fostering growth in a rapidly industrializing nation. Similarly, the Viking ship in Norway has provided new insights into Norse burial rituals and their significance within Viking society. It has also sparked fresh debates about the extent of Viking exploration and their influence on the regions they encountered. The Carthaginian warship found in the Tunisian desert has helped historians piece together the story of one of history's most formidable naval powers. Its discovery has challenged long-held assumptions about the extent of Carthaginian influence and the strategic importance of their naval operations. Beyond their historical significance, these discoveries also serve as reminders of the environmental and cultural changes that have shaped our world. Shifting coastlines, desertification, and human intervention have all played a role in burying these ships, making them symbols of the dynamic relationship between humanity and the environment. A broader perspective on maritime history. The stories of hidden shipwrecks are not just about the vessels themselves but about the people and societies they represent. They remind us that history is not static but constantly evolving, shaped by discoveries that challenge our understanding of the past. As we continue to uncover ships in unexpected places, we gain a deeper appreciation for the resilience and ingenuity of those who came before us. These vessels, long forgotten and buried by time, are testaments to the enduring power of human curiosity and the unyielding drive to explore. The discovery of the 132-year-old ship beneath a cornfield is a perfect example of how maritime history can emerge in the most unlikely locations. It is a story that bridges the gap between past and present, reminding us that the lessons of history are often hidden just below the surface, waiting to be uncovered. The controversy surrounding the discovery of the 132-year-old ship buried beneath a Midwestern cornfield has not only captivated public interest but also sparked heated debates among historians and archaeologists. While its unearthing provides a rare glimpse into the past, it has raised more questions than answers, and experts remain divided over how the ship ended up so far from any modern waterway. One prevailing theory is that the ship was abandoned during a massive flood. Rivers in the Midwest, particularly the Mississippi and Missouri, have a long history of overflowing their banks, sometimes drastically altering the surrounding geography. Proponents of this idea argue that a flood could have deposited the ship in its current location, after which sedimentary layers buried it over time. However, critics of this theory question whether a single flood event could fully explain the ship's remarkably intact preservation and deep burial. Another school of thought suggests that the ship was intentionally abandoned as part of a land reclamation project. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, as agricultural expansion surged, farmers and landowners often repurposed or buried old structures to make way for new uses. If this theory holds, the ship could have been deliberately scuttled and covered with soil to create arable land. While this explanation aligns with the region's agricultural history, it fails to account for why the ship was left so intact rather than being dismantled for its valuable materials. Some historians have proposed an even more controversial theory, that the ship was buried as part of an elaborate cultural or ceremonial act. They point to parallels with Viking burial ships and other ancient traditions where vessels were interred as symbolic gestures. While no evidence of ceremonial artifacts has been found at the site, the theory underscores the possibility that the ship's burial may have been deliberate rather than accidental. Adding to the debate is the lack of definitive documentation about the ship's origins. Without written records or eyewitness accounts, historians are left to piece together clues based on the ship's construction, materials, and artifacts. This has led to disagreements about the vessel's exact purpose, age, and operational history, making it difficult to reach a consensus on its story. Ownership and legal dispute. Beyond the historical debates, the discovery of the buried ship has also sparked contentious discussions about ownership and legal rights. Who has the authority to claim the ship and the artifacts it contains? This question has proven to be as complex as the excavation itself. Under US law, the ownership of archaeological finds often depends on the location of the discovery. Since the ship was found on private farmland, the landowner technically has rights to the site and its contents. However, the significance of the discovery has brought local and state governments into the picture, as they argue that the ship is a historical artifact of public importance and should be preserved for educational and cultural purposes. Archaeologists involved in the excavation have also weighed in, advocating for the ship and its artifacts to be housed in a museum where they can be studied and appreciated by the public. They contend that private ownership could limit access to the site and hinder future research. This perspective has garnered support from historians and academics but has faced pushback from the landowner, who views the ship as part of their property and livelihood. The legal disputes have been further complicated by questions of compensation. If the ship is deemed a public artifact, should the landowner receive payment for relinquishing their claim? And if so, who would fund this compensation? These issues have sparked broader conversations about the balance between private property rights and the public good, with no clear resolution in sight. Cultural sensitivity. The discovery of the ship has also raised important questions about cultural sensitivity and the ethical considerations of excavating historical artifacts. While the vessel itself may not have immediate ties to indigenous communities, the broader context of the site and its history must be taken into account. In the Midwest, many areas have deep cultural and historical significance to Native American tribes. The excavation of a large-scale archaeological site, such as this ship, has the potential to disturb sacred lands or uncover artifacts with cultural relevance. As a result, archaeologists have worked closely with tribal representatives to ensure that the excavation is conducted respectfully and in accordance with local traditions. Preservation efforts have also become a point of contention. While experts are focused on stabilizing the ship and its artifacts for future study, some members of the community have expressed concerns about the loss of connection to the site. For the local farmers and residents, the Cornfield where the ship was found is not just a place of historical significance but also a living, working landscape. Balancing the needs of historical preservation with those of the present-day community has proven to be a delicate and ongoing process. Efforts to involve the public in the excavation and preservation process have helped to ease some tensions. Community outreach programs, including site tours and educational workshops, have provided residents with opportunities to learn about the ship's history and its significance. These initiatives have fostered a sense of shared ownership and pride in the discovery, while also highlighting the importance of protecting historical artifacts for future generations. A symbol of unresolved questions, the controversy surrounding the discovery of the 132-year-old ship highlights the challenges of balancing historical preservation, legal ownership, and cultural sensitivity. While the ship itself is a remarkable artifact, its unearthing has brought to the surface a host of unresolved questions about how we value and protect our shared heritage. As debates among historians, legal disputes, and cultural considerations continue to unfold, one thing remains clear. The ship has reignited a passion for uncovering the past and understanding the forces that shape our world. Its story is not just about a vessel buried beneath a cornfield, it is about the complexities of history, the tensions between progress and preservation, and the enduring power of discovery to spark meaningful conversations. In many ways, the controversy surrounding the ship is a reflection of the very history it represents, messy, layered, and full of competing perspectives. It reminds us that history is not just a series of facts but a dynamic and ever-evolving narrative, shaped by the people who engage with it. The ship, once forgotten beneath the soil, now serves as a symbol of both the mysteries of the past and the challenges of preserving it for the future. Scientific insights and geological context. The discovery of the 132-year-old ship beneath the Midwestern Cornfield was made possible not just through chance, but through the meticulous application of modern scientific techniques. The role of science in this excavation was pivotal, turning a puzzling find into a treasure trove of historical and geological data. Tools such as ground-penetrating radar, carbon dating, and geospatial analysis were integral to uncovering the ship's story and its journey to an unexpected burial site. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, played a critical role in the initial stages of the excavation. This non-invasive technology allowed researchers to peer beneath the surface of the cornfield without disturbing the soil. By sending electromagnetic waves into the ground and analyzing the echoes that bounced back, GPR helped create a detailed map of the ship's dimensions and its orientation. This was especially valuable in determining how deeply the ship was buried and in planning the safest way to unearth it. The use of GPR also minimized the risk of damaging the fragile structure during the excavation process, preserving its historical integrity. Once the ship was uncovered, carbon dating became essential in verifying its age. Fragments of wood taken from the ship's frame were analyzed to determine their approximate date of origin. The results confirmed that the vessel was constructed in the late 19th century, consistent with its presumed operational period. Carbon dating also revealed that some parts of the ship were made from repurposed materials, a common practice during that era, further enriching our understanding of its history. Other scientific techniques, such as dendrochronology, were employed to study the ship's wooden beams. By examining the growth rings in the timber, researchers could trace the origin of the wood and gain insights into the environmental conditions during the time it was harvested. This analysis provided a glimpse into the forests that once covered the region and the resource management practices of the shipbuilders. The integration of geospatial analysis added another layer of understanding. Using historical maps overlaid with modern geographic data, researchers could trace the possible waterways and floodplains that existed during the ship's operational years. This analysis helped reconstruct the landscape of the past, offering clues about how the ship might have traveled and ultimately been buried. Environmental factors. Understanding how the ship ended up beneath a cornfield requires a deep dive into the environmental forces at play. The American Midwest is a region shaped by dynamic geological and climatic processes, many of which likely contributed to the ship's burial. Floods are one of the most significant factors to consider. The Mississippi and Missouri rivers, along with their numerous tributaries, have a history of severe flooding. These events often alter the surrounding landscape, depositing layers of sediment and reshaping waterways. It is highly plausible that one such flood carried the ship to its final resting place, where it became stranded as the waters receded. Over time, subsequent floods and natural sedimentation could have buried the vessel deeper beneath the surface. Sedimentation, in particular, played a crucial role in preserving the ship. The region's fertile soil is the result of millennia of sediment deposition, creating an environment that can rapidly cover and protect artifacts. In the case of the buried ship, this process acted as a natural preservative, shielding the wooden frame from decay and the elements. Tectonic activity, while less common in the Midwest, cannot be entirely ruled out. Minor shifts in the Earth's crust could have contributed to changes in the landscape, altering the course of rivers and trapping the ship in an area that eventually became farmland. While no direct evidence of tectonic activity has been linked to this specific site, it remains a potential factor in the broader context of geological changes over time. Human intervention is another environmental factor to consider. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, land reclamation projects were common in the Midwest. Wetlands and floodplains were often drained or filled to create arable land, a process that could have inadvertently buried the ship. This theory aligns with historical accounts of agricultural expansion in the region, though it raises questions about why the ship was not dismantled or repurposed before being covered. What it teaches is the scientific insights gained from the excavation of the 132-year-old ship extend far beyond its immediate history. This discovery has provided valuable lessons about climate change, geography, and the historical usage of waterways, shedding light on the intricate relationship between humans and their environment. One of the most compelling lessons is the impact of climate variability on historical landscapes. The role of flooding in the ship's burial highlights the dynamic nature of river systems and their susceptibility to environmental changes. This is particularly relevant in the context of modern climate change, as rising temperatures and altered precipitation patterns continue to affect waterways worldwide. Studying historical events like this helps scientists and policymakers understand the long-term consequences of such changes and develop strategies to mitigate their impact. The discovery also underscores the importance of historical waterways in shaping human activity. In the 19th century, rivers were the lifeblood of commerce and transportation, connecting remote communities and facilitating trade. The ship's excavation has provided a tangible link to this period, illustrating how reliance on natural waterways influenced settlement patterns, economic development, and cultural exchange. Geographically, the find offers insights into the evolution of the Midwest's landscape. By analyzing sediment layers and geological features at the site, researchers have been able to reconstruct the region's environmental history, revealing how natural forces and human activity have shaped the land over time. This knowledge is invaluable for understanding broader patterns of landscape transformation, from the expansion of agriculture to the effects of urbanization. On a broader scale, the ship's preservation speaks to the resilience of materials and the conditions required to safeguard historical artifacts. The interplay of sedimentation, burial, and environmental stability created a unique set of circumstances that allowed the ship to survive for over a century. This discovery serves as a case study in the science of artifact preservation, offering insights that could be applied to similar finds in other parts of the world. Finally, the ship's story is a reminder of the interconnectedness of history and science. By combining cutting-edge technology with historical analysis, researchers have been able to uncover not just the physical remains of a vessel but also the rich narrative it represents. This multidisciplinary approach highlights the value of collaboration between scientists, historians, and archaeologists in piecing together the puzzle of our shared past. A confluence of history and science, the scientific exploration of the 132-year-old ship buried beneath a cornfield has revealed more than just the story of a single vessel. It has provided a window into the environmental forces that shaped the American Midwest, the historical importance of waterways, and the evolving relationship between humans and their surroundings. This discovery is a testament to the power of science to uncover hidden narratives and connect us with the past. It reminds us that even the most ordinary places can hold extraordinary secrets, waiting to be revealed through the careful application of technology and expertise. As researchers continue to study the ship and its context, they are not only unearthing a piece of history but also contributing to a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped our world. Through the lens of science, the buried ship has become more than just a relic. It is a symbol of the enduring mysteries of our planet and the limitless potential of human curiosity to unlock them. The impact of the discovery of the 132-year-old ship beneath a cornfield sparked a wave of public fascination that transcended local boundaries. The idea of a historic vessel hidden under farmland captured the imagination of people worldwide, becoming a viral story in the media and a topic of conversation in classrooms, coffee shops, and online forums. From news outlets to social media platforms, the discovery became a symbol of how history can surprise us in the most unexpected ways. Media coverage played a pivotal role in amplifying the story. Major publications and news channels detailed the discovery, with headlines like "Historic Ship Found Beneath a Cornfield" and "Buried Shipwreck Reveals Secrets of the Past." These articles and broadcasts highlighted the extraordinary nature of the find and posed tantalizing questions. How did it get there? What stories does it hold? This kind of reporting drew attention from people of all backgrounds, turning the ship into a household topic. The local community also played a significant role in bringing attention to the discovery. Residents of the small town where the ship was found quickly rallied around the project, providing both practical support and a sense of pride. For many, the ship was more than just a historical artifact. It was a symbol of their connection to the past and their community's unique place in history. Public interest was further fueled by opportunities to witness the excavation firsthand. Open days at the site allowed visitors to see the ship and meet the archaeologists working to uncover it. These events drew thousands of people, including families, school groups, and history enthusiasts. For many, the chance to stand inches away from a piece of history was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that left a lasting impression. The ship's discovery also resonated with the broader public because of its relatability. Unlike shipwrecks found deep in the ocean, this vessel was unearthed in an everyday setting, a cornfield. It reminded people that history isn't confined to museums or textbooks but is all around us, waiting to be uncovered. Educational value. The discovery of the buried ship has immense educational value, offering insights into multiple academic disciplines and inspiring a new generation of archaeologists and historians. From its construction and purpose to its burial and preservation, the ship serves as a case study in history, geology, and cultural studies. For archaeologists, the ship provides a unique opportunity to study a 19th-century riverboat in remarkable detail. Its well-preserved wooden frame and associated artifacts offer a wealth of information about the materials, techniques, and practices of the time. Researchers have been able to analyze everything from the ship's structural design to the tools and personal items found aboard, gaining a clearer understanding of life on the waterways during the late 1800s. Historians have also benefited from the discovery. The ship's location and context have shed light on the importance of river transportation in the economic and social development of the American Midwest. By studying the vessel and its contents, historians can piece together stories of trade, migration, and daily life, adding depth to our understanding of this pivotal era. Perhaps most importantly, the ship's discovery has inspired a new generation of students to pursue careers in archaeology, history, and related fields. School groups that visited the excavation site were often captivated by the idea of unearthing history and solving the mysteries of the past. For many young people, the ship became a gateway to exploring the broader field of historical research, sparking curiosity and a desire to learn more. The educational value of the discovery extends beyond formal institutions. Community workshops, lectures, and online resources have allowed people of all ages to engage with the story of the buried ship. These initiatives have not only increased public awareness of history but also emphasized the importance of preserving our shared heritage for future generations. Economic and cultural boost. The impact of the buried ship's discovery extends beyond education and public interest. It has also brought significant economic and cultural benefits to the region. What began as an archaeological project has evolved into a catalyst for tourism, heritage preservation, and community revitalization. One of the most immediate effects was an influx of tourists to the area. As news of the discovery spread, visitors began traveling to the town to see the excavation site and learn more about the ship's story. Local businesses, from restaurants to hotels, experienced a surge in activity, with many capitalizing on the newfound interest by offering special promotions and events. Recognizing the economic potential of the discovery, local officials and community leaders worked to develop long-term strategies for tourism. Plans were set in motion to create a museum dedicated to the ship and its history, complete with interactive exhibits, artifacts, and educational programs. This museum is expected to become a major attraction, drawing visitors from across the country and contributing to the region's cultural identity. The ship's discovery has also inspired efforts to preserve and celebrate the region's heritage. Community events, such as historical reenactments and river-themed festivals, have been organized to honor the area's connection to waterways and transportation. These events have brought people together, fostering a sense of pride in the region's history and creating opportunities for cultural exchange. Beyond tourism, the ship's discovery has highlighted the importance of preserving historical artifacts and sites. It has sparked conversations about the need for funding and resources to protect similar discoveries in the future. This renewed focus on preservation has led to increased collaboration between local governments, academic institutions, and private organizations, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not lost to time. A legacy of discovery. The impact of the 132-year-old ship's discovery goes far beyond the moment it was unearthed. It has become a story of curiosity, community, and the enduring value of history. The ship's journey from a forgotten relic to a celebrated artifact is a testament to the power of discovery to inspire and connect people. For the public, the ship has served as a reminder of the unexpected ways history can reveal itself. For educators and researchers, it has provided a wealth of knowledge and an opportunity to share the importance of preserving our past. And for the local community, it has brought economic and cultural benefits while strengthening their ties to the region's heritage. As the story of the buried ship continues to unfold, its impact will be felt for generations to come. It is a powerful example of how history, science, and community can come together to create something truly extraordinary. The journey of uncovering the 132-year-old ship beneath the Cornfield has been nothing short of extraordinary. What began as an accidental discovery by a farmer quickly transformed into an archaeological endeavor that captured the imagination of people across the globe. The buried ship, preserved for over a century under layers of soil and sediment, offered not only a glimpse into the past but also a treasure trove of stories and insights waiting to be revealed. The ship's history, from its construction and operational years to its eventual burial, painted a vivid picture of life in the late 19th century. It served as a lifeline for trade, connecting communities and fostering economic growth during a transformative period in American history. Its burial, whether caused by natural forces or human intervention, added layers of intrigue that have kept historians and archaeologists debating its origins and fate. The excavation process was a testament to the power of science and collaboration. Advanced technologies like ground-penetrating radar and carbon dating enabled researchers to study the ship without compromising its integrity. The artifacts recovered from the site, tools, personal items, and even fragments of cargo, revealed the daily lives of the people who built, sailed, and relied on the vessel. Through public fascination, educational initiatives, and cultural preservation efforts, the story of the buried ship has become more than a historical curiosity. It has inspired a renewed interest in uncovering history, emphasizing that even the most ordinary landscapes can hold extraordinary secrets. Larger implications. The discovery of the buried ship teaches us valuable lessons about history, resilience, and the unpredictable nature of discoveries. At its core, the ship represents a tangible connection to a bygone era, a reminder of how people adapted to the challenges and opportunities of their time. It shows us that history is not just a series of dates and events but a living narrative shaped by human ingenuity and the forces of nature. One of the most profound implications of the discovery is its testament to resilience. The ship's preservation, despite over a century of burial, speaks to the durability of human craftsmanship and the protective power of the environment. Its story reminds us that even when artifacts are hidden from view, they are not necessarily lost. With the right combination of curiosity, technology, and determination, history can be rediscovered and brought back to life. The ship also highlights the unpredictable nature of historical discoveries. It was found not in an expected location, like a waterway or coastline, but beneath a working cornfield, an ordinary setting that held extraordinary secrets. This unpredictability underscores the importance of staying curious and open-minded, as history often reveals itself in ways we least anticipate. On a broader scale, the discovery challenges us to think about the relationship between humans and their environment. The ship's burial likely resulted from a combination of natural and human factors, illustrating how landscapes evolve over time and how historical events are intertwined with environmental changes. By studying such phenomena, we gain a deeper understanding of how the past shapes the present and informs the future. The buried ship also serves as a metaphor for the hidden treasures that exist all around us. Whether it's an artifact beneath the soil, an untold story in a family's history, or a forgotten tradition waiting to be revived, history is full of opportunities for discovery. Each find, no matter how small, contributes to the larger tapestry of human experience, reminding us of the richness and complexity of our shared heritage. The story of the 132-year-old ship buried beneath a cornfield is a powerful reminder of why history matters. It teaches us that the past is not a distant, static thing. It is alive, dynamic, and deeply relevant to our understanding of the present and our hopes for the future. But more than that, it challenges us to remain curious and engaged, to seek out the hidden historical treasures that surround us and to value the stories they tell. For viewers, this discovery is an invitation to take an active role in uncovering history. It doesn't require being an archaeologist or historian. Curiosity and the willingness to explore are enough. Whether it's visiting a museum, reading about a historical event, or even examining the stories embedded in the landscapes around you, there are countless ways to connect with the past. This discovery also emphasizes the importance of preservation. History is fragile, and its artifacts and stories can easily be lost if not cared for. Supporting efforts to protect historical sites, fund archaeological research, and educate future generations about the value of history is a responsibility we all share. By doing so, we ensure that the lessons of the past remain accessible, not just for ourselves but for those who come after us. The buried ship is a reminder of the extraordinary that exists within the ordinary. It tells us that every field, river, and hill has a story to tell, waiting to be uncovered by those with the curiosity to look and the determination to learn. It's a call to action for anyone who has ever wondered what secrets might lie beneath the surface, urging us to embrace the thrill of discovery and the joy of connecting with history. As this ship has shown, history is not something confined to the pages of a book or the halls of a museum. It is all around us, woven into the fabric of our landscapes and the objects we encounter every day. It is a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It is simply waiting for us to rediscover it, to listen to its stories, and to carry its lessons forward into the future. The discovery of the 132-year-old ship beneath the Cornfield is not just a historical event, it is a story of curiosity, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit to uncover and cherish the past. It invites us all to look closer, dig deeper, and embrace the mysteries of history that lie just beneath the surface. The next great discovery could be waiting in the most unexpected of places, and it is our curiosity and commitment to uncovering history that will ensure those treasures are brought to light.